So it must be something in the settings that I missed. All right. I believe. Let me see if statistics are up. Welcome, everyone. It is January 13th of 2025. This is our first Legend in the Mist game of this calendar year. Welcome back, everyone. Glad you're here. Welcome back, players. Welcome back, my audience of two. I thank you very much. We actually do get several views. I think there was like 25 views of our last video. It's, you know, hey, we're not Critical Role, but we're not setting out to be. So I'm just excited to have anybody looking at what we're doing. I went and looked up Legend on the Mist. What's that?
More than I thought. I didn't realize
Right?
it was that famous.
Exactly.
We won't let it go to our heads.
Of
We're
course
going to
not.
start having to sign autographs soon. I did a search for Legend in the Mist, and I don't show up. This stream doesn't show up anywhere on the first like couple of pages down, and then there we are. And even when I go to like Legend in the Mist, I don't think I have actual gameplay or actual play in the title anywhere. So I need to probably just adjust a little bit so that people can see that we're actually trying to play this game. This is, by the way, I think it's been put in the Discord. This is the single most, according to Ian World survey, single most anticipated fantasy release of this year. Beats out RPGs like Cosmere and Discworld and what's the other one? No, there's another one that it beat out. That was we were expecting to be pretty popular. But this one beat out as most anticipated game. Pretty cool. All right.
And
so
did you see the link I put in there for that other publication that's actually creating a scenario that's going to be able to be leveraged?
Yep.
In Legend?
Yeah, I did, and that's that's a real thing. I saw confirmation in the Discord, official Discord, that yep, that's a real thing. I think I feel the same way about it, maybe even lesser so than when I first saw the first D&D/Fate book, where they had, if you were playing Fate, they would have stuff like that, and then there was also for D&D, it was some kind of grim dark kind of thing where it added like special ways to die. If you're gonna die, then you get to do a couple of special actions that make your death look a lot more badass than you just ran out of hit points and things like that. So it was pretty cool. There was a couple of good things. Still got the book, but never used anything from there. And then they've got playbooks for like Dungeon World and stuff. So it was like turned out to be kind of a multi-genre. They did Fate and Dungeon World, and then I think it was Dungeon World. It was powered by the Apocalypse kind of game, and then because they had playbooks, and then some D&D stuff you could throw in that would be part of D&D. So I got kind of excited. I thought, oh, hey, somebody's thinks as highly of the games that I love as much as D&D. And so this is the same kind of feeling. It's just, you know, a lot later.
Right,
and it's a
called
newer game.
Zamanora?
Yeah.
Ballad of the Witch, just for two listeners who might be interested in looking it up.
Right. Exactly.
No, but I mean, like you said, it's nice to know that it exists. I didn't even think there'd be something like this out there. I was pleasantly surprised that, you know, it's getting traction even this early out in the game. So who knows?
Yeah, for sure. So if either of you in our live studio audience love what you see and what we're trying to do here, go ahead and hit that like button, the little heart. I don't know, I don't know if you want to ring the bell or not. I don't really care. But if you want to hear every single time we go live, I think you have to do that in order to hear that we're going live. And then likewise, feel free to share this. If you comment, I'll see your comment during the live stream. And I check back once in a while in the dashboard to see who's been commenting on old videos. so I can answer questions or make fun of stupid people or whatever. So anyway, it's all fun. We're just having a good time. All right, so thanks everyone for coming back, you guys. And just for the record, next week we will be playing again, and then we're taking a 2-week break because I have some conflicts in my schedule. And so unfortunately, we'll be taking a 2-week break and coming back the Monday after that. So it'll be February 10th, I think, before our next. So next week is good, but then I'll be out till February 10th. All right.
That's
So
good
when
because I was going to have to cancel as well.
Oh, okay. Well, you go ahead. You just do that. See if I care. All right. So anyway, that's our schedule. Rough start at the beginning of the year, but I've got some big conflicts with my day job that are causing some grief, and that's just the way it is. But it doesn't happen very often. So this is like the first time in 3 years I've ever had this kind of weird scheduling. So this is just some weird projecty things. Anyway, all right. So I am excited to get started with what's going on here. When last we left our heroes in our world nearly a month ago, but just moments before now, the earth broke open and a crazy looking creature kind of came out of the ground. So I believe maybe I can send a picture. Can I send a picture? View character artwork. Yes. So this is the kind of thing. Let's pop that out so you can see. This is what came out of the ground and began to chitter and move very strangely in bursts towards you. And so I think we kind of took the general atmosphere of reaction to that, and then we ended our session. So to begin, we're going to follow this whole setting of the scene, doing some action, and then consequences. So this is the flow of our action here. And then after consequences are settled down, I'll come back and set the scene again, and then put the spotlight on someone. We'll determine the action and so forth. So again, you can steal the spotlight. And when you do, it will be to have some kind of effect on what's happening in the spotlight right before you stole it, right? So in a D&D, this might be similar to, I perform the help action or something like that. But because we don't have a structured initiative and rounds and all that, that flows more like a story, then it's just where the camera goes, where the spotlight is pointing. And so you may do something that's going to positively affect, like Jemmy may do something that positively affects Old Man Derlin while he's trying to do his thing, his reaction to setting the scene and what his action is he's going to take. And then at that point, Jemmy may step in and like do something to assist or hinder or something that's going to have an effect on that action. He's not going to create his own new action. He may choose to do that after the action and consequences are set, and then he can try to do his own independent thing, etc. In which case I would set the scene and start to go that route. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's all bumble through this and see how we do. All right. So we are ready to begin. So the creature comes up out of the ground and is lurching toward, I believe Marshall stepped forward to kind of defend his companions behind him and to face it straight on. It appears to have a very ill intent upon you, and it is chittering its teeth, and that's what you hear is the chittering that was coming from all different places. As it lurches toward you, did I mistakenly apply. I think I've applied trapped when I was testing some of the things. That's no one's trapped. There is Old Man Durlin is being watched. Right? We've got that sense that someone is watching him. But all right, so the Barrow Fiend actually, as it gets close to you, sir, it locks its glowing, sickly green eyes on you. And you feel a chill come upon you as it does so. What do you do?
How far away is it actually from me now?
It's not far. It is lurched up upon you, like getting up on its two back legs, like it's walking normally. But of course, nothing is normal about this. But
how tall is it? Is it? Are we talking grizzly bear size, or are we talking?
Yes, nearly. Yeah, it's big. It's big, but it's skin and bones, and even has some of its bones showing, like torn through the leathery skin.
Okay, I'm gonna position myself, to have the well between me and it, so that I can get a little bit of striking distance and make it a little harder for it to get to me. Because I'm pretty sure that if I shift over, it will move with me. It will readjust and pursue me.
That's where I was going.
That's fine.
You guys are gonna leave me alone.
You slow your blow. Yeah, that's my intention. Is I'm gonna make it work for its supper.
Oh, that almost sort of worked. So what you see, yeah, it's funny. All right, so because you're moving closer toward it, you're squaring up with it, but there's something about its eyes, and it applies a terrified status to you. I don't think that works. Let's try. Maybe I can just go from here to here. I think this is what I was testing, and it sort of worked, but then doesn't work.
Can we resist?
So this was a kind of a threat on the Marshal, and the Marshal continued just to engage it. So it actually pierces through.
You were saying everybody.
No, just the Marshal. And it's not going. So, Marshal, for now, I'm just going to add a Terrified 2 to you.
Okay.
Can he reset that?
Oh, I have plans. So.
Okay.
I just want to see if it actually comes to the well and gets on the other side, where it's actually, where I'm within sword striking distance to actually take a swipe at it, see what it does, what its reach is.
Well, I was going to get up on the well. Crap it.
Okay. So you as it nears, the way it is chittering its teeth and coming towards you in a way that does not, it's got that uncanny valley kind of movement to it. You find yourself hesitating in fear as it moves closer and nearly within striking distance. Durlin, you see this thing closing in, not quite hypnotizing Marshall, but causing him to kind of take a step back in, like it's got some kind of fear factor to it, right? So based on that, Durlin, what is it you're planning on doing? What do you want to do?
So, he's actually going to begin chanting a ward to cast onto the Marshal to protect him from, harm and evil, corruption, all that sort of stuff. A very generalized ward to protect him.
Cool. All right, very good. So go ahead and put together your action, and we'll see how that goes.
I am going to protect Derlin, so if I see the monster going towards him, I will hit it with a rock.
All right. Good, or at least a rotten apple, but probably a rock. Yes.
Did you get it?
Okay, I do have it. I see it in the chat. So it wants me to approve or reject it. So let's see. Old ways. Yeah, it's funny because we run obviously a very similar system in City of Mist, and I've been running that on Wednesday nights, and that whole resolution system is so different. Different developer that wrote the modules, etc., and their approach is so different. All right, so
Yep, they're calling it Mist System now.
right. And just the way it's been implemented in Foundry is very different. All right, so if I reject, it gives me a chance to look at. You chose spoken invocations. Let me make sure I got this right. 3, 2, yep, 3 power. All right, I think that's. This is going to be a tract because you're going to give him a status, right?
Yeah.
All right. Man, it keeps deleting and recreating cards, so I'm like trying to keep up with it. All right, so you rolled an 8. This is a mixed hit. So right click. Trying to figure out what the heck right click does. Right click to post. Oh, I see. So this is a for yourself or for an ally, enhance. So you boosted him, and it's 1 power per tier. That's 2 power. So Marshall, add yourself a warded 2 status. There you go. All right. So, which is probably just in time because this thing is going to jump right on you. As a matter of fact, let me make it a little bigger because it really should be probably a 2x2. So let's do that for our. Yep, it's bigger. All right, so it's going to pounce at you. It's big claws, threatening to dig into you. And
Can I strike back since it's going to be attacking me? All right,
yeah,
so
you certainly can. So this would be, you're going to roll the dice to do damage, to do harm to it. And if you do 10 plus, then you'll be able to hurt it without it hurting you. On a mixed success, you'll both trade some damage. And
all right, so I'm going to roll, and then you're going to take or deduct as necessary. So we'll see.
Yep. So to do this attack, you are probably going to be hurt a little bit by the status. Let's see.
Correct.
You're missing stuff. Where did it go? They were on the managed tags and statuses window, and now they disappeared. So you used to have. So I'll add them on here. So let's see. Name
Oh, okay.
your tag warded, and then warded 2, and then you also were terrified 2. So those both may play in. We're going to take the highest status, the highest positive status, and the highest negative status to apply to each other. I think that's how that works, right? Do I remember correctly?
Sounds right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Name my tag. I have 2 of them in there now. Terrified. Can I do -2? Probably not.
And would this be quick or tracked?
This would be tracked. Wait, what? What will what be tracked?
My
His
attack.
Yeah, because you're gonna do a status to it. Yes, for sure.
Okay.
A quick is just kind of like a do I succeed or do I not succeed, right?
Right. Okay.
And tracked would be we're gonna do damage or we're gonna heal damage or we're going to make another
Increase or decrease the
Yes.
progression tracks.
right. Exactly. All right, so you've got a shield, aspiring hero, brute strength, feign courage. Yeah. So I'm going to reject, and I'm going to add in.
Can
Terrified.
Derwin and I still see him?
Can you still see him?
Yeah, is he behind the well now?
No. I don't think he's got the well between you and him. He was trying to put the well, sort of
Between
make it
me
come.
and it.
Come. Yeah. He wanted it to have to come around and give him a little bit of warning, right?
But
All right, so
it looked like that the monster came around the other side, so Derwin and I would be on the other side of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're not going to do a top-down. I want to do a lot of theater of the mind and just kind of use this picture to help us keep us in the moment, in the place.
I don't mind. I'm just
Yeah.
Fine.
So, what I'm trying to do, and I think a lot of this kind of game are trying to use these 3D environments to kind of create a mental place for you to do theater of the mind in. So I'm going to see if I can make that work. I have played theater of the mind in all my early years of playing. Never really had miniatures. Hardly ever brought a battle map out until I started playing Champions. And then all the later D&D 4th edition, 5th edition, definitely. We only brought battle maps out when it was combat time, but we always had a battle map, like for everything. And then in 5th edition, I started building 3D terrain and stuff like that for our home game. But I want to get back to some more of the theater of the mind if I can. I'd like to do that. So.
Well, I think it's going to afford the
I prefer that.
flexibility we need, because trying to battle map this is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, tactical and narrative don't go well together, I think.
But my question is, in my mind, do I have line of sight on the demon?
Yes. Yeah, it's bigger than the well. Even the perspective here is not accurate.
Does he have
So-
partial cover?
Maybe. I don't think that matters much. What would cause you to be concerned about partial cover?
Throwing a rock at it?
Oh yeah, so
Move
no,
around to where it wouldn't.
yeah. And again, in this game, it's not like you can only move so far each turn. We're gonna just move. Just think of it more like the movies. Sometimes you actually, if you try to break down and analyze a movie action scene, you're like, how did he get way over there?
Or their
So
long
fast.
distance travel. How did they get there in 2
Yeah,
days?
exactly.
How did he
It's
not
like you
get hit
guys.
by shrapnel?
Right. I mean, Supernatural. My daughter and I are binging that a lot, and so we're
Oh,
like,
that's true.
how did they get to South Dakota so fast? It's like it was overnight.
Montage. It's
Exactly.
time for montage.
They there's still the crime scene tape up, and the people are still there, but they were 2 states away when they got the call. How do they do that? Yeah, so there's little things like that, and we just
maybe they know the secret ways of the fairy kingdom.
exactly. So that's what we're gonna do. You can just move your stuff around. You can just say, I'm gonna move to where I've got a good clean shot, and I'm gonna beam that dude in the head, right? And you could totally do that. Yeah, and we don't care. You're just gonna get to do it. It's fine.
Okay.
Unless I can come up with a great narrative reason that that's going to be a problem, right? Or whatever. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and approve it now with that in there. So it's going to roll for you. You did double 3s, right? Do doubles add and roll again? Nope, they don't. Not in this game. Sorry, buddy. However, that is a strong hit. So you get 6 power of damage. And then I think against an opponent to weaken it. Wait, let's do attack. All right, so give your target a harmful status, cost 1 power per tier.
Then I will use. How many did I get?
6 power.
I will do all 6. I want to drop this thing.
And you will do 6, and then so you'll do 6. Status of what? Can you tell me what it is? Give me the adjective.
Bleeding out. I'm gonna put a major gash on that thing so deep it's gonna definitely know it was hit.
Okay. Cool. Then
Cut or lacerated.
Right.
Gutted 6.
What did you just say?
Gutted.
Gutted.
I like that.
All right, I'm gonna add gutted, but what's weird is it didn't do 6. It did gutted 3. All right, so this creature, you slice well into it, and as you slice it, it expels a cloud of oily miasma filling the area around you, Marshall, with darkness and corruption. And then it kind of lurches back, and so this cloud is all around you now.
Can I kind of throw myself back and out of it, like backwards? Like I know I can go backwards a certain amount of feet.
Yeah, try to roll out of the way. All right, so you're going to do a mitigate roll because what's coming in is a kind of a weakened state, so obscured and weakened. So you're going to mitigate that. So make a mitigate roll. Meanwhile, Gemma, you see it dig down into the ground and starts to just vanish. You have time to take an action before it vanishes. No? Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, Jared, you got a lot of tags.
Do you want to beat it with a rock?
Okay, I rolled.
I'm like, these aren't my skills. I accidentally clicked on Derlin. Like, I'm not a storyteller.
Yeah, interesting. So,
Well, but you're learning from Durlin.
So your card, just so I can see what's happening, I'm looking at the stream at the same time, and I see the card comes up. Wait for it. The GM is something the roll, like looking over the roll, right? And so you get to mitigate the outcome, and I get to approve it or reject it. So runner's stamina, martial training and athletic. I think that's appropriate. However, is there something that would stop you from... Oh, yeah, sure. You're also warded from harm. So you get to add warded to reduce damage, but I'm also going to add terrified as an offset to that as well, because the fight or flight is kicking in there. All right, so now we're going to approve it total power -1, but with an excellent roll, that is a 1 power mitigation, which is enough. Do you want to reduce obscured 2 down to obscured 1, or do you want to take obscured 2 and reduce weakened 1 to not weakened at all? What would you like?
Not weakened.
I'm talking to Marshall. Jemmy, you're out of the way enough. This cloud is not going to get in the way. You can see the thing leaping out and starting to burrow down into the ground again real quick. So you're going to get a shot now. If you would like to take one.
The weekend.
Sorry,
how does that get reduced?
That's a negative status. That would be weakened. Anything that would require strength or might, you're weakened.
Okay, so then I would reduce the weekend.
Okay. All right. So we're going to give you obscured. And you don't take a weakened status. You'll take obscured 2. Okay. So you've got a lot of level 2 statuses, my man. All right, Jemmy. You have a chance to do something with this guy while he begins to try to make his getaway. The burrow fiend is trying to burrow underground. What do you do?
I run to the well and grab the rope. I throw it over the monster's head. And then
You want to?
Pulley.
Okay, so you stand by. I'm gonna make sure I understood what you said. You're going to jump up to the well, grab what rope is there, and you want to do what? You want to wrap it around the thing?
Yes. And pull on the pulley.
Okay, like the well crank. I don't see one on this picture, but something where what you'd use to crank the bucket up. You're trying to. All right, cool. All right, so the first thing.
Just
I like
it. Just the rope.
Okay. So you want to use this rope. I know there's a bell here for some dumbass reason. Thank you, AI, for putting a bell above the well. It rhymes, but it's not useful.
There's a bell tower.
It should be a bucket. Yeah, because I had bell tower in the description because I wanted to put that in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But then it took the bell out of the bell tower and put it in the well, which is dumb. But, you know, it's AI. We're not terribly worried about it taking over the world just yet. All right. All right, so good. Then let's see. We're going to break this down, I think, maybe into 2 kinds of actions. One is to kind of make the rope something that you can restrain this large creature with. And then the second part of the action will be to like tug it back. Do you want it to like fall into the well, or are you just trying to use the rope to subdue it?
Well, it would be nice, but I'm just trying to like pull it off balance and stuff and keep him from getting away.
So,
Gotcha.
your main thing is trying to restrain it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's start with you turning that rope at the well into some kind of maybe lasso or something that you like flip it around its neck or something while it's trying to at least maybe hook it on its leg or something. So let's have you do that first. So I want you to find tags on your sheet that might help you do that. There may not be many. This is an unusual, not a classically apple picking kind of skill, but you're stretching yourself.
I do.
So let's
I do have rascal and prankster, so this is probably the sort of
exactly.
I would do.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I totally can. Yeah, I'll buy that.
Can I use deft hands and strong throw?
Maybe not strong throw, but deft hands, I think.
I think deft hands would be good, and strong throw might be for the second part where you actually try to restrain it. The first is to kind of make this rope usable for that purpose. So maybe like quickly form some kind of a slip knot on it or something, and then use deft throw to try to like get it somehow, right?
Right. Just tossing it out there.
Yeah, no, that's good. I will I will be happy to hear you narrate how this goes once we see the die roll play into it.
And this is what kind of roll? Or just roll the dice?
No, I think you can do a quick roll on this part because the tracked roll is going to be the subduing part,
Oh,
the
right,
actual
yeah.
attack part.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that. And let's just see how that goes. I think this is very creative and clever, and no one would ever try to do this kind of thing in a D&D game. I mean, not no one. You and I might, but
Okay. Do I roll?
but people who
Then you
yes, please do. You go ahead and do the whole thing, and then it sends it to me for me to look at. Deft hands, prankster. So I'm going to pop up the thing and see if there's anything else I can throw at you to. I'm going to give you the advantage of gutted. It's been gutted, so it's not moving as fast as it normally would move.
Oh wow.
And I think that makes sense. It is. Whoops. Oh, that's just like
Quick recap. What are you doing? What is it that he's doing? Just one word.
He's tying a rope around its leg so it can't run away.
I'm
Not yet. Right now,
Much.
he's
and, I'm grabbing.
He's trying to loop it.
Grabbing the rope on the well.
Not yet.
And forming a noose.
Yeah. But
he's
eventually-
doing something, a lasso kind of thing right now that he wants to do. And
If it lands, can I help him to try to pull it back?
Sure. That would be
Okay,
your.
that's what I
your
wanna do.
help
Yeah.
action that you want to do.
Yep. If
All
he
right, so
lands
right
it, I'm
now-
gonna help him.
All right. So let's see how that goes. First off, we're gonna let you roll that. So approve. All right, here it comes. Oh, look at that.
Oh
A
wow.
17.
Crap, dude.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
All right, so that you're going to get all your 6 power, and normally what you would do with this 6 power is we would create like status or tags, etc. So in this case, ally, and it would be enhance. That would be something you could use for yourself. 1 power per tier of status helping. So assist, aim, boost. So in this case, you're going to build a noose 6. Like that's not normally what the way you do. You'd make you would put aspects of the noose, for example, as separate tags. But I don't want to go through the bookwork of adding a bunch of tags. If I was handwriting them on a little piece of paper, it'd be easier. But putting them in here and then giving you tags, blah blah, it seems like a lot. So in this case, we're going to do that, and I'm going to give you a +6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add. Just getting length of this. a little bit.
Would that fall along a restrain? Is he technically looping
Now-
it to restrain it, or just?
He just
So
fashioned
that
the
was
rope.
just to, yeah. So now he's going to restrain it. So he said he wanted to jump up on the
Okay.
well, grab that rope, and do something with it so he could throw it at this thing and restrain it, like keep it from digging underground. So
I hear
very
him
clever.
go, yeehaw!
Yeah, something like that. I bet. You ask him. So this would be. I'm just going to put lasso. I don't think that suits it very well, but I'm going to give you 6 power on that. So let's. Well, I'm just going to be able to throw that in 6. Thank you. All right. So, all right, Jemmy, you've got it. Now I want you to do the attack roll, and you're going to use that lasso to make your attack.
All right. Well, I got strong throw. And deft hand.
And
Scrappy. Rascal.
well, you
I mean,
just use those for the other, so you can't use it for this one. That's like a multi-action thing. So, but you have lasso 6 that you're gonna put on it, right?
Yeah.
And this doesn't have 6.
Yeah, so lasso 6 as well.
Yeah. All right. So submit that. Roll it. And then I'll make sure it's got everything in it it needs to have.
Quick.
All right. So you got deft hands. You've got. Let me pull up your sheet here real quick. Only goes so far. Oh yeah. I'm gonna put only goes so far as a negative for you, just because that's always fun. All right. So we're adding only goes so far, but lasso's not added, so we need to add that. All right. So I think there you go. Power of 7. Is there anything else I can put in your way? Nope. All right, so we're gonna approve that roll, and you may go ahead and watch the bones. Oh, that's a nice hit. So that's a strong hit, power of 7, and you get to gain experience because I don't know if it'll do it automatically. Double check your character sheet that it adds a pip on your experience. I think you get to click that button that says gain experience and see if it adds a pip. It should, but if it doesn't, it should. All right, so
Well,
I'm getting rid of your
experience on Ravenholm Rays, but that's not what I'm rolling.
what's that?
There's
Bushel.
there's an experience on Scrappy, but none on Bushel.
Yeah. So maybe that's. Did you click the button to gain experience?
Oh,
That added it.
Yeah.
So if you did
Well,
it from the chat where
I-
it said gain experience.
I clicked it, but then it put Ravenholm Rose in front of me. And, oh, there it is. Bushel apples.
I just clicked it. Maybe it requires me to click it, not you. Cool. Well, we're learning. A little bit of learning curve. Trying to figure this all out. It gave you 2 pips. Now, did you add one under experience yourself? Under bushel of apples?
Oh yeah, maybe, yeah. Or it did it when I clicked the button, maybe.
All right. So I've removed one. Right clicking will take it down a notch. Okay. No. All right. There we go. All right. Okay. Just as long as you get the pip of experience. All right. So, you succeed in like throwing your hastily made slipknot lasso. Tell us what that looks like. Narrate that for us.
Oh, it's like straight out of a cowboy movie. I jump up on the whale and I grab the rope and it doesn't get caught on anything. I just whip it out in front of me, tie a big knot, and wind it around my head and throw it over the monster's head. And it's like completely perfect. It's like 3 points in a rodeo.
Okay, So you have stopped it from digging. It turns on you with a new ferocity in its eyes. It's it locks its glowing, sickly green eyes on you, and you begin to feel like your death.
Well, yeah, but
Your death is coming.
Jared wanted to help me with the pole. So right after I succeeded, Jared was going to help me pull it.
Yep. You want to
yeah.
pull it into the well? Is that what you're trying to do? Make it.
If I can,
Okay,
yeah.
So the way I see it, Jemmy is like standing on the edge of the well, up on the stones,
Right.
like on the precipice of maybe potentially falling into the well, but holding on to the structure because and the rope that you've just tied around it. So Marsh, you're going to grab the rope with Jemmy, and what is it you're going to do?
I'm gonna help yank him, pull it out of where it was digging, and try to see if we can get it to flip over into the well.
Okay, so you're going to try to tug it and pull it into the well.
It stood up, right?
It turned around to because you were stopping it from going anywhere else. So
And I'm gonna take that advantage because its
Yeah.
legs are tied. I am gonna try to sweep it out with the rope.
Okay,
All right,
so
so
you're gonna. I'm not
going-
sure its legs are tied. He wrapped it around its head like a leash, and so
Oh,
it
okay. All right.
turned.
So then,
Just like if you have a dog on a leash, it could turn and just take your head off, and that's what it starts to do. So there's probably about 8 feet of rope, 10 feet of rope that isn't slack anymore, but will become slack as it turns and starts to just come right at you. Its green eyes and its big claws, and it's chittering, and yeah, it's quite a.
oh well,
whoops.
then I use the momentum of the rope to pull it into me faster to stab it. I'm literally gonna pull this thing straight into me.
Or you can both like jump down the other side of the well, not into it, and try to pull it up into the well, right? It's coming after you anyway. So you could like be pulling it, you want to try to drop it into the well. I mean, that's kind of what I first thought you were going to do. But if you want, you can try to impale it on your sword. Whatever you like.
Let's do the well. Let's go with the well. I'll stick with the first plan.
All right, so
Let's just make
Jared
sure I
and
got this
Jemmy are going to be pulling on the rope while you go to the other side of the well to pull it up so it has to come up over the top of the well, and you're going to try to get it to fall into the well.
Yep.
All right. Go for it.
Come along, little doggy. Okay, take away what you feel should be taken
Take
away.
away
And
what I
add.
feel.
And add.
Yeah, no, it's not what I'm going to take away, it's what I want to add. This is going to hurt later.
Oh yeah,
And-
I knew that was coming.
And rash. And oh yeah, we need to add. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're also going to add some terrified to it. All right.
Wow, that's a lot of tags.
Yeah, so it comes down to a power of 3, and that is a mixed success. So what's going to happen is it is going to inflict not a happy thing for you. Let me see who it's going to grab. Marshall, you're going to help wrestle it over, but it is going to actually grab Jemmy and fall down into the well with Jemmy.
Well, you know, that's half of what I was looking for.
Jemmy, you scrape down the mossy side of the well on the inside as it has wrapped its claws around you. But like a hangman's noose, you deftly tied for him. He comes to a jarring conclusion of his fall that ends him, and then you fall the rest of the way.
Oh no.
Derlin's gonna rush over to the edge of the well and shout, "No!"
Yeah, we're gonna look
Jimmy!"
over.
I can't
Yeah,
wrap
so you
my fishing-
see
I can't wrap my fishing rod around its head.
the
Jimmy, don't be a hero.
the barrow fiend's glowing green eyes reduce to pinpricks and then go out like a candle as it's hanging there swaying back and forth inside this well shaft. Further below, you hear Jemmy. Do you make any particular sound or say anything while you continue to fall? Is it just a girlish like scream, or do you say or do something
I scream,
else?
"Oh, there's water here!
What was that?
I hope there's water here!"
Yeah, you go down, and so great. Then you end the life of the barrow fiend, and hopefully you didn't end Jemmy's life at the same time. Derlin, you come running toward the well as you see them topple in. The miasma cloud that's around the area is kind of fizzling out and kind of going away, settling a little bit on part of the ground where it was thickest. There will be some of this oily miasma left on the ground, but the cloud is kind of out of the way. You can see just as that cloud is diminishing, the barrow fiend grab Jemmy and fall into the well, and then the rope goes nice and taut. What do you do?
He's going to first curse out Marshal Jared for getting Jimmy caught up in danger's ways. He was too reckless.
His rash.
Then-
He is rash.
Yeah. And it's gonna hurt later. It just didn't hurt him. It hurt his ally. But then after that, he's going to shout to the bottom of the well, trying to see down in the darkness, see if Jimmy survived the fall. You down there, kid?
The
Down there.
darkness is thick. Jemmy, you are falling. You try to there's no time really to try to grab the edge of the shaft or anything like that. It just doesn't. You just kind of tumble a little bit as you fall. You're trying to hopefully reach somewhere wherever the bottom is in a fashion that you don't belly flop or otherwise land on anything solid. You're hoping it's not solid at the bottom. And what you get is something that is like a mix. It's like thick, swampy water maybe that you fell into. So it's kind of boggy. It's not mud, but certainly a lot wetter than that. And there is a little bit, so it breaks your fall a little bit, but I want you to try to mitigate an incoming harm of I think an unconscious 5 is coming your way. So I want you to see if you have anything that you might be able to do to mitigate that damage, that harm that's coming to you.
Scrappy. Roll with the blow.
I roll with the blows, great one.
Death hands. So I try to grab something before I hit the ground.
Yeah, I think you're trying to I don't know if you could slow your fall or anything by trying to grab onto something on the wall, like a loose stone that's sticking out or something, but it just all went by too fast for you. So I think roll with the blow is a good tag to try to use. What else?
Scrappy.
Okay.
but not
Maybe.
weapons. Can I strongly throw myself from the floor?
Throw yourself from the floor. I'm like, but you're like phobic of the bottom of places, so you're gonna try to stay away from it, right? So no, I think. Yeah, I think you've got the best you can do. I think roll with it, and maybe Scrappy, you could use that. So go for that and see if there's any. I don't see any negatives. Never listens. Can't sit still. Nope, none of those are usable. All right, so let's roll that and let's see how much you might be able to mitigate.
I rolled.
Oh, yeah, I had to scroll down. I thought it would pop up on its own, but it didn't. All right, so I think we can just approve that straight up. Here it comes. Okay, so an 8 is mixed. So this just means change type to mitigate. So it gives you 2 power. And so you can reduce by 2 tiers. So instead of 5, it'll be 3. And so let's say that you are going to put, so let's see, let's give you I'm trying to think of a good adjective about I put broken bones, broken leg 3. Let's do that. All right, so instead of unconscious 5, you take a broken leg 3, and you are now laying, and we'll say that knocked the wind out of you too, as just part of it. You'll recover that just soon enough, but it makes it very difficult for you to call out and cry out. So, Durlin, you
Durlin's
don't.
going to look around for any other rope or anything like that.
Yeah, I have a rope, so I'm gonna take
you have
the
rope?
rope that I was holding, tied around my waist to yank that thing by the head. So I'm gonna take that rope that that Jemmy had, and I'm gonna tie that around the well's post. One of those
Okay,
posts.
so
and
let me make sure I'm clear that we're talking about the same thing. The rope that Jemmy used was the spare rope from the well, and like from the bucket that goes to the bottom, kind of thing. And it's
how far does it go down?
It doesn't go down very far, so it maybe went 20 feet. So the thing's hanging down there 20 feet down, but Jemmy is much further than that.
Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that rope, test it to see if it would support my weight scaling down. If it doesn't, if it feels like it's going to actually not, if the pole that it's connected to is going to give way, then I'll move it to the thicker post. I'll untie it,
Okay.
wrap it around that,
And
then use that.
On the other end, 20, some feet down or whatever it is, maybe somewhere between 10 and 20 feet down, is the corpse, the fresh corpse of the burrow fiend.
Right. So I'm going to see if I can climb down to that point and to it and cut it loose to have it,
Yeah.
I'm hoping you can hear me and hug to the side because I got to cut this thing loose. Or actually,
I mean, we could
you
just
know
pull
what?
it up, right?
How heavy is it? Can I pull it up?
Yeah, it's heavy, but you're
I can
strong.
help.
Okay,
You're
so
already...
cool, fine. Yeah, I pull it up.
I'm a tough cookie.
Pull it up then.
Okay.
I pull it up, and as I pull it out and toss it to the side, I admire how ugly it is, and then I cut its head off, and then slide the noose off, and take the 60 feet of rope that I have and tie that to its end and start scaling down.
Gotcha. All
With
right. So
it
then you toss
tied
that
around
rope
my
down.
waist. Yeah. So I'm doing a wrapped around my waist and by my legs. So I'm kind of a little shimmying down and rappelling, not necessarily just
Mhm.
doing it on upper strength.
Okay. And then the other end of the rope is tied to the support over the well.
Correct.
Right. And Derlin
Sure.
is going to say a little, cast another ward, but on the rope this time to protect it from breaking.
Okay.
And I'm going to
Right.
see how far down I can get. If I can, hear him as I make my way down. I am going to, call out to him to see if he can answer. Even if it's a grunt or a pain. Can I hear him?
Yep.
Moaning?
Yeah. As you start to
Oh.
get down there, you can hear him moaning. There's sounds of life down there.
Okay, does the rope reach you? Like I ask him that. Because I'm coming down with the rope, I want to know if Slack is reaching him. Can Jimmy tell me if the rope is like in front of him, near him, not near him? Because that would be the length of the bucket rope plus whatever 60 feet I have, which I mean, I'm hoping it gives
Yeah.
additional slack.
It does, but the slack doesn't reach Jemmy. So Jemmy, you're laying there. You're looking. You are in kind of a cave or something. It's very dark, obviously, down here, and it feels very damp and cold. And it's just really dark, so you really can't see much of anything going on. And you know that you're on this wet, shallow, wet area that has a lot of like moss or something, and it smells kind of gross. I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to think of a good word to describe it. I would think of it almost like, yeah, it's got a, like a bog kind of smell.
Yep.
Like there's
Marsh
yeah,
stench.
yeah. There's kind of a rotten plant life, that kind of thing, and then there's like fungus or some moss and stuff down there too, right?
A bog of eternal stench.
Yeah, and who knows?
The first
what
thing
people
I
have
do when I'm at all conscious and have my breath is I scream and scream about my leg hurting so bad.
Okay, so as you're getting down there, you're like, "Can you see the rope? Can you hear anything?" And you just hear back, my leg is broken. Can't move my leg."
All right, so as I made my way down, how much rope did that, or as I pulled that thing up, how much rope was I able to assess was attached to that thing?
Probably somewhere around 15 feet. Somewhere
So
between 10
15,
and 20.
right.
Yeah.
Right, 10 and 20 plus my 60, so we're talking 70 on the safe side.
Like
This thing
75.
goes further down than 70 feet.
It seems so, yeah. I mean, you're only halfway down at this point, let's say, and that would not put your slack all the way to the bottom. That your slack would be somewhere between you and the bottom. Let's say if the rope goes all the way to the bottom, then your slack doesn't, unless it just is a lot of extra left over, right? Because the other half's attached to you. You didn't just lower it all the way to the bottom.
Right,
You could drop
but I mean,
something and count the seconds.
well, I mean, if it's also hitting something mossy, I may not necessarily hear it from all the way up there. And if it were water, I'd stand a better chance, but it's not. So, I mean, as I make my way all the way down to the bottom of the rope as far as I can make it out, can I hear if he's like near me or is he still pretty far?
He's getting near you.
I
So
think it's
you're
kind of both. So
By your estimation, the bottom of the well seems to open to a larger area. It's not just a tunnel, like a shaft that goes straight down. It opens up into some kind of a larger area, and that you come out of the bottom of the shaft about 10 feet or maybe 15 feet above where Jemmy is laying half in the water.
Oh, that sucks. Okay.
So you run out of shaft wall, it suddenly widens, and Jemmy is below you, somewhere down there in the pitch black.
I call up and I go, I need at least another 20 feet of rope. Is there any rope around, old man, that you can throw down?
Oh, sorry, let me be more clear. Your rope will probably go within 5 feet of the ground, probably, by your estimation.
Okay, if he's like within 5 feet of me, can he reach up? I mean, I'm not asking him to necessarily walk far. I'm just asking him to reach up. Stand and reach.
Hey, if he's got a broken leg.
All right. Well,
Do
Apple Lad.
Do I have my fishing pole?
You're in the pitch dark. You don't even see a rope.
Well, he's telling
My
me.
sword, does it glow? Does it shine? Does it give off
It
any
does
light?
not. No.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to... I'm gonna have my rope wrapped so that I could maybe dangle upside down, right? In other words, I'm gonna be like, looking downward. And I'm gonna let my cape or my cloak or my fur lining drop down a couple of more feet. And I'm gonna tell him to reach around until he finds that.
Okay. Jemmy, you can hear him above you. And he's like, you're telling him to what? Go talk to each other. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm telling him to reach for my forest-colored overcloak. I am wearing it, so I'm hanging upside down, and the rest of the flak would drag down. Lump.
The color of your cloak is irrelevant down here.
Trust
I can't
me,
see
it's
the color
red.
of my own hand. I will try to get up on one leg.
Don't grab the yellow cloak. That one's not mine.
Yeah, I try to hobble up on one leg and, probably scream some.
Man, it is painful. It hurts a lot. You're in a pretty bad way.
Can I?
Meanwhile, up at the top,
Can I feel the cloak?
are you going all the way? So you reach the end of where your rope is tied around you, and you can from there, you can dangle like upside down to try to get your
Cloak to drop the extra
Yeah.
distance.
Yep. Sure.
I have.
You can eventually feel the cloak.
I'm pulling a Spidey moment.
It's swaying back and forth, and you can
Don't
manage
kiss
to
each
grab
other.
it. Meanwhile, up at the top of the well, old man Derlin, you see, while you're looking around, you feel like, once again, eyes are upon you. And you are kind of starting to look around. You're getting a little nervous. You're up here all by yourself. These other two guys are playing around in the water down there. And you see coming up one of the streets through the mist there's a woman in some kind of a dress, maybe even like a white dress.
Don't tip your hat and let go of the rope.
Yeah.
I didn't trust that old man with the rope. I tied that thing off myself.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, he doesn't trust this woman coming in. We've not seen. There's no one living in this town or.
No, that's
village
not
or
true.
whatever.
Last episode, we were following a woman dressed in white.
Yeah, but
Correct
was she
me.
alive?
GM, if I was, well, I mean, we were following something. She was white,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she disappeared into the mist. Yeah.
Yeah, Derlin will shout out to the woman and say, if you mean ill business with us, stay back.
Almost as if she doesn't hear you, she keeps walking toward you at the well.
He's going to cast
It's a slow, kind of melancholy walk.
Is she walking towards Derlin or towards the well? Kind of like directly.
It's hard to say. You're at the well. Do you want to step away from the well to see if she
Yeah, he'll take
kind
a
of
couple
diverts
steps back
to walk
and
toward you?
point his walking stick at her.
She keeps walking toward the well.
He's going to shout down to the well. You guys might want to hurry up. We got company. And then he's going to step in front of the well, in between her and the well, to try to block her path.
Nice. All right. So she just kind of continues toward you unabated. She just keeps walking. Kind of, it's not fast. Like I said, it's kind of a melancholy walk. But she's going directly to the well and she looks right at you. And you look at her and it looks like she is crying.
He's gonna create or cast a spell, a ward, basically in front of himself, preventing passage.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's see it. You can do a quick outcome. Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. So you put up this, like, to everyone maybe but you, it's an invisible glowing sigil that's in between you and her.
He just
Just at
chants
the
some of
edge of
the
your-
old ways, you
Yeah.
know, words and
And So she stops, and then she turns and kind of tries to walk around. Like circle the well to come
Yeah.
at it from a different angle.
He shouts at the woman, "Don't make me banish you. Turn back."
All right, so she continues to circle and then just suddenly leaps into the well.
He's
Just like-
going to.
Leaps right over and dives in.
Yep.
Appalachia, someone
Ye-
falls on your broken leg.
Watch out!
Broken leg sits.
You hear
He doesn't know how to
You hear
manage things right now.
some whispering sounds. Maybe it's from her. You just hear, "Help me." Follow me.
Yeah. Curses.
And who does she say that to?
It's not even clear it's her. Could be. But some whisperings that seem to come from the well.
That's okay, because I'm focused on saving my local, villager. So, getting this kid up, I feel responsible for him in a way. So let's see if he
Drone's
can grab
gonna-
this cloak and I can pull him up.
Okay.
Durham's gonna shout down, "Get off the rope! I'm coming down!"
Oh man, did you lose it? We're coming up.
He
The
lost it a
idea
long time
is to
ago.
get out of the well.
He's gonna grab the rope. Jared's gonna feel the rope starting to jiggle a bit.
Mother flower! Damn it, old man, did you jostle something loose in that brain of yours?
I said I'm coming down.
I'm too old for this.
I find some way to move out of the way.
Jemmy, move out of the way. This is about to become painful.
Let's see if I get down fine.
All right. So, Derlin, I'd like you to see how well you can do coming down a rope. You're not as maybe athletic as Marshall Jared is. So, I'd
I
like
still
to
got
see
some
it.
And you're not as young as Jemmy.
That,
Correct.
I'm not as young as anyone.
you
Like to
mean
see how you
quick
do
as
climbing
Jimmy
down a rope.
was.
Just quick.
Yeah. You may not be as Gandalf, but maybe getting on. I see your picture. I know you're.
Maybe he's got that sleeper build underneath those cloaks.
You probably can't remember the last time you climbed on a rope. Let me put it that way. All right, so you have Outland Recluse. How does that help you climb a rope?
I mean, he does a lot of hiking, a lot of like maybe not climbing ropes or whatever, but climbing over rocks and stuff like that. He's got to do a lot of his own manual labor around his little hermit cottage.
I can see Tough Cookie working, but anything else? You've seen a thing or two? No. No. It sounds like right in line with get off my rope. We'll throw Grumpy in there too, just to make this even more fun. All right.
Oh boy.
Not a lot. All right. Well, you are going down this rope, and you're like, "Get off my rope! Come on, get out of the way!" And you're trying to shimmy down, and you're trying to use your legs against the side of the well, and while you're trying to go hand over hand down the rope, and your hands start to cramp a little bit. Those old bones of yours do not stand up to this kind of physical rigor. And you end up falling and catching the marshal at the end of the rope, and that tug on the rope breaks the beam. When you land on the marshal, it breaks the beam that the rope is tied to, and it follows behind. So you're going to let me hit gain
Coming down,
experience for you.
Can I try to roll out of the way because
experience.
I know something's coming. If the rope fell.
Yeah. So, Derlin falls on top of Jared. Jared goes a little bit because he's just got this rope around his waist, and then the rope. You just feel the rope go suddenly slack as you both fall into the water. It is kind of stale water. It's maybe a little bit of rainwater or something that's gone down there, or maybe something else. It's pitch black down here. You can't see a dang thing. You land close enough to being on the apple picker that he cries out in pain. And now you are all three. And the rope comes down after. The beam didn't come with it. The beam just broke.
Okay.
And so
good.
the rope falls down, and you hear it splash in the water next to you in that shallow water.
Well,
A deep subject.
mighty nice of you to join us, old timer.
You happen to see a woman down here?
Look, I'm desperate,
That's
but I
slowly
haven't
getting
seen
up.
one yet.
He's going to look around and see nothing because it's dark and go, got a light.
I'm gonna help the kid up or try to get him better positioned. I go, you broke your leg or you broke your arm. What'd you break exactly? I don't think you actually. You did say leg, right?
I can patch him up. Find a light.
Okay.
Yeah, and Derlin.
Can we use your
Jared
sword
looks
as a
for a-
split?
Yeah, while Jared looks for a light, Derlin's going to inspect the wounds, or wound, or whatever, of Jimmy.
Yep. He's got
Okay,
a broken
mitigate
leg. It is like a broken femur. So you can go ahead and work some of your medicinal
to
hedge magic to try to
Reduce that.
fix him. Yep.
Is
Quick
that a
question:
mitigate
is there
or a
any?
track?
But you can't see anything down here, so I'm gonna give you
Okay.
a negative until you can sort out your.
I'm gonna say
light
there's no
situation.
real light source down here that we can even see off in the distance or in any direction.
Correct.
Make-
You can tell you're in a cave-like chamber because of the way things echo and the water that you're sloshing around in kind of echoes. There are walls somewhere out there, or at least a ceiling or something that its sound is echoing off of. So it's not a tiny little bottom of a well that you're in. It's bigger than that. But you can't see a thing.
Maybe you can hit your sword on something and get some sparks.
That's assuming that I can even see any rocks that are sticking out of the ground. Are there anything like that that jets beyond the actual floor? Or is
So
everything covered
there's
in
a
this swampy bog?
yeah. So it's kind of half solid, half. It's very marshy. So where there is something for you to kind of pull up out of the water, it's also kind of damp down here, and you're not really sure what the um, what the nature of the texture you're touching is, but it could be moss, it could be it's kind of slick, and there's some kind of plant life or something down here, but hard to tell what it is. The trick here is going to have to be to try to see if you can find some way to generate some light. I don't think anybody has
I mean, without like
torch
a,
or
yeah.
anything like that.
I have
And-
some empty sacks. You can light them.
Mhm.
So I have a small cauldron that we could
Mm-hmm.
put something in to light a fire.
Yep. Or you could maybe find something in your abilities somewhere. Oh, you do have, by the way, 3 experience on Outland Recluse and 3 experience
Yeah.
on Old Ways Practitioner. So you could choose another tag. You'd have to edit the tag, I think, and then, edit the theme. How would you do that? Let's see. Edit. And
Can you just
then-
do that whenever you immediately hit the experience, or is that usually like end of session
Nope.
stuff?
You can do it anytime. Yep. In City
Make
of Mist, you can do
fire.
it. You can do it in the, yeah. So, if you want to,
We're gonna
like,
do
you have
See the
2
Unseen.
themes. Old Ways Practitioner. Okay. And then you'll need to reset your experience back down to 0. Yep. And so the same goes with the rest of you. If you have enough experience that you filled all 3 boxes, you can add another theme, another tag, I mean.
I have one in all 4.
I have
3
two
and
in
1.
each,
You
so
have 1 and 4. Okay, so you're
yeah,
not there yet.
two. Yep, not there.
Okay.
I can delete those old tags that are no longer valid, right? Like help from Derlin and warded and terrified and obscured. All those can go by, right?
Yep, I'll get rid of them.
Oh, okay.
So help still counts because that was stuff we did as kind of an end of session move, where you talked about creating a better bond or maybe hurt because there was some issue. To work
Question:
out
does the
there.
old timer have any sort of ingredients that burn that are flammable? That's flammable that could go in his cauldron.
Well, the question, I mean,
I-
do.
I have empty sacks.
Say, if you want, I can
So-
burn the herbal ingredients that I would use to heal him.
No, let's keep that.
We can see, but you're still gonna have broken
Yeah.
light. Good luck.
Yeah. Huh.
So you
I
could
was
do
holding
that,
on to
or yeah. So click to open sheet.
Better.
That worked. That's cool. All right.
Yeah, so he now has the See the Unseen, though.
Okay. So if you could come up with some kind of magic that might generate some kind of light, you could do that. That tag would certainly apply.
Yeah. So he's gonna try to light up the top of his staff, kind of like a
Okay.
Gandalf style.
Okay. All right. So that would be just a quick. Seems like Wizard's gonna be busy here trying to fix a broken leg in a minute.
Yep.
Did you hit your roll yet?
Nah, just now.
My roll suck. All right. So for your first attempt at seeing the unseen, let the record show that you botched.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, I am going to. Your staff crumbles to dust. Maybe ash. You can't see well enough to tell exactly what happened. But your staff just kind of disintegrated when you tried to cast this magic on it.
It's been a long time since he's tried casting that.
Can you cast it on a sword?
Maybe. Do you want to risk your sword?
I'll risk my old one, not my new one.
On a sword wrapped in cloth?
Yep.
Yeah, he'll give it another try.
Old sword. In case that one
Whichever
crumbles.
one you hand me.
2 hours later, all three of you are naked at the bottom of a well.
It's everything's destroyed.
All right, what else can I cast it on? All right, let's see it. Try again. The definition of insanity.
Yep.
All right. Well, that worked. The sword is it's a mixed hit, so I'm going to give you, what would you like? Dim light or something else? It's not going to be a bright light. Or it could be a bright light with some other consequence that I can.
Yeah, let's do
I've
some
already-
other consequence with the bright light.
All right. The sword has to be held by the blade because the hilt is what lights up.
Well, being that it's an old sword and it is wrapped in cloth, or the sheath that I have for it, I will hold it that way and hold it up. So
All right.
I'll look like I'm some clergyman.
That's right. All right. So you can now see the area that you're in. You are in a large chamber, and parts of it are definitely hewn from stone, or otherwise built with stone block. It's very bright at first, so it takes a second just to really get your eyes accustomed from pitch black to suddenly being able to see around you. You are on a little bit of like a peninsula that goes into this chamber where the well was dug down into this chamber, it seems. So your best guess, Derlin, is that this chamber pre-exists the well. And the peninsula leads to a dark opening, like a hallway that continues forward. So you can now see that you're in an area that has this peninsula of drier, not exactly dry, but very marshy like land or something. And then water all around, which the well shaft is right above, like right at the edge of the peninsula. So if you're a lucky kid, you'll land in the water. And if you're a less lucky old man
Apple
or
picker.
marshal, yeah, if you're an apple picker, you can land mostly in the water. and not, but it's shallow, and so you break your leg instead of just hitting the ground and going, and then being unconscious. But if you're an old man or an old marshal, you hit half the land from a few feet up because you're kind of swaying back and forth as the rope breaks, etc. And you land kind of on this peninsula land that's damp but marshy and got some mossy like plant life to it, but that's about it. And kind of muddy. So that's where you're at. You can actually pull the kid all the way up out of the water onto the land where you can work on him and get a good look at him now.
I do.
And so now you can try to apply your herbs and wrappings and bandages and try to get his leg set and strengthened using some of the same kind of magic you tried to use to strengthen the wood that didn't strengthen it enough to hold two people when you fell. You could still try
He's a
to
hermit.
mend
He only
his,
thinks of himself.
Yeah,
mend his
but
bones.
that still has a beautiful knot.
That's right.
Okay. Would this be a mitigation roll against his broken leg?
No, it would be what's the word for it? It is well, when you roll, we'll get it. It's ally restore. So it's a tracked roll, and I'll switch it over so that it does a restore.
While this roll is happening, while this is occurring, I look around. Do I see? Are we the only? In other words, do I see skeletons or anything laying around on the solid ground? Any indication that others have been here?
No obvious indication that others have been here, and if they've been here, it's been a while.
Okay. Well, I keep a watch.
Okay. All right. I was reading through some things. Think that's fine. Okay. You get to gain experience. And ally restore. So it was a 3 power roll. You get 1 power per tier, 2 power per tag. So you can reduce the broken leg and to 0 because it's broken leg 3.
Cool.
Good as news, as
Right,
long as he
right.
doesn't break it again.
Yep.
Oh.
I clap him on the back. That was a pretty mean hog tie you did on that thing, Jimmy.
I am very proud of it. I don't think I've actually ever done anything that awesome before.
Both very reckless.
Fortune
Not
favors
sure
the
how much-
brave.
Yeah, not sure how much longer I'll live though, next to you two.
We just smile. I mean,
Yeah. So, you see a woman in a white dress fly down here or fall down here?
no, I saw an old man cannonball into me.
Well, I wasn't the first one to jump down. She went before me.
I
Alright, so I'm
actually,
gonna have to ask the GM, did I see a white figure come down?
Nope.
No, just you.
Well, I ain't
I
crazy.
did see an
Actually,
old white-haired
down.
figure come down.
Yeah, I ain't a woman though.
You screamed like one.
That's a lie. I would never.
All right, so I look around. What do we got here? This is old.
Yeah, Derlin's going to try to kind of put his hand behind one of his old, ears with hairs growing out of it and stuff, and try to listen closely for sounds, possibly whispers or anything.
Let's do. I would like to see you try to tap into that using these Twilight.
Encounters.
Yeah, to see if you can hear anything. Sound beyond sound, kind of thing. Lion-O.
Could see the unseen apply to hearing the unheard?
Sure. Why not? Look at it and burn that tag. I almost did. So one of the consequences that we can apply is take away something that you want. And so burning a tag is one of the ways we can manifest that.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's really all I can justify.
All right. I'm okay with that. Let's do it. Roll.
Oof.
Still kind of new at this. However, with a miss, I need to apply some consequences. So this is a place where, as being kind of new to this thing, this whole method, grabbing consequences out of thin air that make sense with your action can be a challenge for me because it feels very impromptu. So I think you're trying to cast some kind of magic using some new necessary power you've developed with the old ways, and so I think at this point you've stretched that, you've used that twice in rapid succession. So I am going to burn that tag now. See, the unseen is burned. You can unburn that, but it's going to take an action. You have to do. Wait, what? That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to burn it. How do I? Well, let me burn it.
Alt click.
Did you see that somewhere? Is that written somewhere?
Yeah, it says shift plus
when you
click
hover
to
over
burn
them.
tag on dice roll.
Alt click
it gives-
worked. Open or Alt Option plus click. Gotcha. So isn't that nice that they built in some Mac commands? It was nice of them.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you, tooltips. Okay. All right, so I've burned that. You're not going to be using that for a while till you get some downtime and you can work on it again. And you can recover it at that point if you choose. So, you try to hear, you try to reach out, and I think what happens here is maybe that there's a sudden cacophony of super loud whispers, and it makes it hard to hear anything else.
Did
And
they
as a matter
burn
of fact,
my sacks?
did they what?
Did they burn my empty sacks?
No, I don't think they did. I think they were
Oh.
able to get the sword to work.
The sword's glowing.
So I will say this is going to make it hard for you to use this tag because now you hear a constant whispering of inaudible words. Like you can't make out anything, but it's this constant whispering sound. You kind of opened it up and it was the wrong kind of way to open it or something, and it's kind of stuck. So you have this leak now from Twilight to your ears. You just can hear
It's
everything.
like trying to
You're
ride
not
a
sure what
bike after having not ridden it for 60 years.
it is. Right?
You kind of remember how it works, yeah.
Yep. All right. and
All
then-
up.
Yeah, the front brake is stiff, and you pull that too hard, and you endo.
Yep.
All right, so you cannot hear anything of concern now. It's like just overcome by this whispering sound.
Blasted racket. Spirits never shut up.
So as we look around, does this cavern extend in all directions, or does it primarily seem to go one direction?
No, it's mostly kind of round, roughly, and the cave part. It's almost like someone built it into this cave where there may have been some water source here, or maybe some water source that comes from somewhere else to here. You didn't notice any current per se, but in this room, it looks like maybe people, because it was obviously built by somebody intelligent, because half of the cave then becomes very structured, hewn rock instead of natural walls, and or stone blocks making the corridor that goes out of this area. So this might be like a 50 by 50 foot room, right?
Right, so we're going to go towards where it got built out, like you said, where there are steps.
So there's
or
like a
corridor out.
hallway. There's a corridor that then takes like a right angle to the right. As you look into it, you can see it looks like it goes to the right. So you
Are we ready?
You guys,
Darlin will motion for Jared. Lead the way, torchbearer.
Yep, I lead the way.
okay, so you go through this corridor, and as you turn right, it then makes another left, and then it opens into a much larger chamber. And in the center of this chamber, maybe not the center, but like in the middle from where you come out of this corridor, it goes up wide, and then there are these steps that go up, and then they kind of circle around, almost not quite like a grand entrance to a house that has two curved stairways, but they're all in the stone, but it kind of has this effect because they kind of go around to what appears to be a large font or maybe a fountain. And the stairs kind of go up to the level where the fountain is. The fountain itself has kind of a spillway that comes straight down the middle. So again, right in front of you, you would have to go up the stairs to either side, where it spills into a small pool, like a tiny, like maybe like a waterfall, but it's really just spills out over the fountain's edge and down into this pool. And it is still kind of dripping, bloop, bloop, but it's not water. It's more like, not quite pudding, but thick and oily. It kind of stretches as it drops, and then the next drop comes, it stretches and it drops.
Does it smell?
Yeah, it does. You will pick up on that right away. It does smell decayed. It reminds you of the smell of the Wakened Sentry.
That's what I was gonna ask next. Is it the same stuff?
It seems to be, yes.
Okay. And it's coming from the fountain?
Right.
Did the big monster up on the top smell like that or drift that stuff?
It did have a miasmic cloud around it, and when he gashed it open, it poured out, it oozed out this big cloud around him that he tried to escape from. Remember, he kind of rolled out away from that. It didn't really bother you because you had a different angle on the thing, but yes, it does. It did also was corrupted by this. It appears to be the same kind of miasma that corrupted the serpent in the sunken tower. And
I point at Jared's clothes. He's got to have that stuff all over his clothes.
mm-hmm. He does have signs of it on him, yes. And so does Old Man Derlin, and so do you.
Yeah, you see me point back to you.
I look at my tunic.
All right.
So it could have been in the water at the
mean-
bottom of the well.
He wasn't joking when he said we were naked.
I was in complete darkness, so.
Here we are, butt naked, wondering how we're gonna get out of here. No. All right. So, I look at the old timer and I'm like, can you put a ward on this? Shut it down? Stop it from flowing? How long do your wards last?
Says, wards last as long as I live.
I look confident in your lifespan.
Yeah. He says, but warden and banishing are two different things. This needs to be purified.
Derlin, you're now taking in some of the others. You kind of look around after taking the initial layout of this room. This appears to you now to have some of the kind of the trappings of like a place of the old ways, and you now can see that in certain areas along the edge of the fountain, as well as above the fountain up on where the stairs go to, there are writings on the walls.
Yeah, you would definitely look at any writings to try to decipher them, see what either how old this place was, or was it like a temple, or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going to walk up the stairs to get a closer look at the writing and such?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you hit the stairs, you're reading some of the writing on the edge of the fountain, and you make out basically your translation of this is that this might have been called a font of the old ways or a fountain. I don't know. You can't really make it out, so you put old ways in there because it just, But this is some kind of a font or a fountain. And as you get up to the top, what are the rest of you two doing? He's looking at writings on the walls. Anything else you guys are going to do?
I'm gonna take a look and see what else is in this room, whether or not they're bookcases or tables or anything. What else is in this giant chamber?
It's pretty spartan.
Just the writings on...
Yeah. And there are some statues, or at least something that might have once been statues. They're kind of just time worn. Some are broken. Just kind of like maybe there was an earthquake at some point in time, and this thing cracked and fell over and broke, and so there's pieces on the ground. It looks like this has just been here a long time.
And in addition to that, I'm going to see if I can size out an exit or some way to continue from this room.
For sure. Okay. So while you do that, Derlin, you begin to get some insight into this. This is a fountain that is a source of pure magical water. That you can gather from the writing. It's meant to be for maybe healing, restoration, life.
Yeah.
Definitely a water that has to do with those kinds of aspects. The text also mentions something about the corruption of the vessel, but that's not probably referring to its current state, but for something like that. It may give you the sense that this miasma is obviously not a natural byproduct of this fountain.
Right, yeah. He's gonna look around and see, since this is a place of the old practices. If it has like any damaged wards or sigils or anything like that it used to have.
Oh, like maybe this was the reason it's not working right or doing something wrong?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's just like time weathered them down, or if they got corrupted, or.
Right. Okay, that's good thought. You can go ahead and make a quick roll on that. Meanwhile, the two of you don't really see another way out of this chamber. It's kind of weird. You might expect that there would be some way out, but this chamber seems to be, as far as you can tell,
the first thing I do is just stare at the fountain. And then I say,
yeah,
Ravenholm needs a fountain.
Right. This would be cool. Maybe with little fish spitting into the water or something like that, right? All right. Ancient lore, old ways. Well, except you can't use... Oh, wait. You can. That's fine. That's not the one I burned. All right, go ahead. Lousy roll, but with a lot of power behind it. Yeah. None of this seems to be altered to cause a problem here. It looks more like none of it seems to be magically empowering the font. The font seems to be just some source of water. And from what you've been able to pick up, it is supposed to be a source of pure magical water.
Yep.
But now it obviously oozes the same blackened miasma that you've seen before.
He'll state the obvious after studying this for a while now to the rest of the group that that ooze dripping out of the fountain ain't natural. It's supposed to be clean water.
And assuming that people came in here to collect this, people also must have left somehow, and I'm not finding a way out. At least none that's visible, so at some point we're gonna have to maybe all take a look.
Yeah.
So there's no other exits to this chamber.
It doesn't seem like it. No. just, seems odd that the shaft to the well might be the only way that you could escape, but that seems weird. But maybe that's the case. Hard to say.
Yeah, Derlin's gonna give it an extra check, because sometimes, if this place is got healing water or magical water or whatever, that's got to be pretty valuable.
You
Even
think
back in
there's
the
a
day or
secret
whatever.
passage?
Yeah, they probably or maybe put a magical illusion or something like that to guard the entrance or whatever, so that people wouldn't just wander right in or whatever. So he's gonna take a second look, looking for more kind of like illusions or secret doors or levers or something.
Okay. You start checking walls. You're trying to find things that push in, or like secret door kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I find anything that I can poke at the fountain with?
You have your fishing pole. You could use that, right? Do you still have that?
I do, unless it broke in the fall.
Oh, that's entirely possible. So you may have a broken fishing pole, but it's got enough intact if that's the case. I'll let you decide, but certainly, otherwise it could have survived the fall. I imagine that it may even be like a fishing pole that you can like put together, right? I'm probably not like modern fishing poles, but something like it.
A segmented fishing pole.
Something like that, but yeah, maybe your own devising, where you make it so that you can put it in your pack. Probably not carrying it around as a fishing pole all the time. I don't know. Maybe you are. Maybe that's a bit smarter way to carry a fishing pole.
Yeah, maybe like a cue stick, where you have like a collar that you stick both ends in.
Right. Yeah, something like that.
Because walking around with a full-size fishing pole would be awkward. So, and do my fountain plumbings give any finds?
All right, so you guys can make quick rolls while you're searching for your secret doors and poking around inside the font, and we'll see what happens based on those rules giving me some feedback.
Are there any torch sconces on the walls?
No.
What did they light this place? They came in with their own torches? Okay. Alright. Checking my side.
Can I use finders keepers? It does seem to be a I'm good at searching.
Sure. Yep. That sounds good.
I'm just not getting anything else. Can I burn fishing pole?
You can burn it for sure. Yep. That'll give you +3.
Sorry. When I click on fishing rod, it starts rolling. I'm trying to flip the button. Oh, shift click. There we are.
Maybe your deaf hands discover something.
Well, I'm not going to stick my hand in the phone.
No, not that. I'm just saying about the wall or anything like that.
He's exploring the font while you are looking for secret doors or some other way in.
Okay.
Some good rolls for everybody. All right. So Marshall, tell me with your, where do we get the list of what you did? Not good after the fact. So
Wow,
we've got 3 rolls.
14.
Let's turn this type to quick. Old man Derlin, what is it you're trying to do again?
So he's looking for kind of like illusionary doors or secret doors.
Okay. All right. And then Jemmy, you're digging into trying to figure out if there's anything inside this dark water. You only have one source of light, so you're trying to hold it up high enough to be useful to everyone, at least to some degree. Okay.
I rolled a 14 though.
You did. Really good roll. All right. So we'll take it from the top. Red Marshall, you find that nothing here seems to make a lot of sense. There are some carvings in the floor in a circle. They don't make any sense, and you asked Derlin to look at it. He's looking for illusionary things, etc., and he is not able. He finds them interesting, but not that they mean anything. They seem to be just a design, a circular design in the floor stone, in the like the tile. So Derlin, you're looking for illusionary things. You're trying to, without using see the unseen or anything like that, since you can't, you're trying to figure out if there's any magic that is obscuring an exit from the room. And you don't, you feel like that there's some magic, but it's hard to tell if it's coming from the fountain and obscuring things or if it's coming from the wall. Hard to say. The apple picker, Jimmy is poking around trying to see if there's anything in the font. The font has that black oily water. Hard to see into the water. It seems to be fairly dark as the oil rises to the top of the font itself and then spills over into the pool below, and it's a very shallow pool that seems to go underground, like it fills and goes underground somewhere. So you're thinking that it may.
Mostly, I'm trying to find like bumps that might be that there is like a trap door under the water or something like that.
Or a drain or something like that, like flush the toilet. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and so you don't find any of that. It's hard to see through the water, and as you try to move the oil out of the way to see if you can see into the water a little bit, there isn't very much light here. It's not great. And so that seems to be unsuccessful as well. But you're the first to notice a pale, oddly dressed woman standing off to the side at the top of one of the stairs that lead up around the font. She does have a staff. You know her. You've seen her before. It's Sorrowbomb.
Okay. We're busy looking at stuff, so we don't notice her.
Correct.
Is he gonna let
Right.
us know?
Jemmy's the only one that sees her.
Oh yeah, I'm getting to it. Is
She cocks
covered-
her head
is
sideways.
she covered
and
in
looks
moss and bog water?
at you. No, she's dry and well kept. She kind of tilts her head sideways as she looks at you.
I'm like, hey guys, and I pick up an apple.
Turn and look.
Right? She looks at you, Jemmy, and she says, It is unfortunate that you found yourself in this place. That definitely grabs everyone else's attention after Jemmy, kind of looking, but now she talks, so that certainly snaps you right over to where she's standing.
That beckons the and why would you say such a thing?
Well, it is the source of what has corrupted the village above.
Darlin will slowly shamble up the steps towards her, stop halfway
Did
up,
you make it?
catch his breath, and say, "Yeah, like the kid said. This you're doing?"
This is the work of a great thaumaturge.
A what now?
A mage.
Saying mage is a lot shorter.
You look like one, lady.
However, this wound was never yours to heal. But perhaps there is something you can do.
What's that?
I'm gonna make my way up the stairs, and I'm gonna walk up to about the platform she's at, and I'd be in. What would that be?
Do you help Darlin finish his way up?
I'll help Derlin up the stairs.
Yep.
He's got them old bow.
I see you need it. I offer it.
Perhaps you might be worthy of healing this wound. It would be a satisfactory test, actually.
Well, being that something that came out of this very font attacked a girl in one of our farms, we have a vested interest in seeing its resolution.
Oh. The sunken tower is not the same as this font. The miasma does come from the same source.
I was fearing that you'd tell me that it's spreading all over the place.
So how do we heal it?
Are you willing to at great risk purify this font?
They're gonna say, yeah.
What if it means
Already here?
What if it means your life?
I've been looking for a good way to go.
You're seeking death?
Seeking good death.
You perhaps
I don't share the
more-
old timers' desire to check out that quickly, but I do want to put an end to this.
Well, very well then. I shall require your strict permission. Do you accept this geese?
Yeah, already said it.
Yes.
I'm confused by the geese thing.
Quest. Task.
Oh yeah.
Even if it means you must give up your very life? Little one with so much life ahead?
Earlier today, I didn't have so much life ahead.
Very well. Then your task is to trace the source of this font. It is that way. And she points back to the to the wall that you've already checked a few times for any kind of opening or whatever. And then she says, find the source and cut it off.
Easier said than done.
Unfortunately, true.
So she points down that way. I make my way down the stairs and I walk over
No,
there.
she actually
and I-
points to the wall that is up at the top of the font, behind the font. And she
Oh,
points to that
got it.
wall where the writing is and where Derlin has spent most of his time looking for magical entrances or illusions or trying to figure out the lore, etc. And you look over there, and indeed, there is not a doorway, just an opening in that wall that was not there before. And you look back at Sorrowbomb, except that Sorrowbomb is not there.
Magic.
Derlin will shake his fist a little bit and see, I knew it. I knew it.
Well,
Hey, Derwan, think of the stuff she could teach you.
Yeah, we'll have to have a talk at our next campfire. If we're going to be dealing
Speaking
with all this corruption and magic and stuff, I might need to
of
teach
campfire.
you a thing or two.
do you guys want to take some time and rest and actually change out things in your backpack or stuff? Or are you going to be good to move on?
Out of character, I'm good.
I'd like a rest.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
so
that might be a good idea before we press on.
Okay. Good. And so this makes actually a pretty good place to take a break from the session. We'll have kind of an end of session wrap up. And then when we meet next week, we can dig in right from there. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Yeah,
Sounds good.
Good. It's a good break. All right. So we will give you a chance to camp, have your downtime so you could recover burnt tag, or you can maybe practice, do something that will advance one of your themes. You'll also get to change out your backpack and those kinds of things. So we'll do that end of credit scene here in just that downtime in just a second. Let's do end of credits right now. All right, end of scene credits. The things that you're going to ask right now are: did you do anything in particular to improve any one of your themes, or did something, did one of your themes maybe suffer, like you're losing interest in it, it didn't really come in handy, that you don't see a future using this one, in which case what kind of theme might you pick in the future? Meaning what would you replace it with if we were to replace your theme? I don't know how this game is going to do character progression, but that's how City of Mist does. It lets you ebb and flow, but you trade a theme for a different kind of theme completely, like the opposite kind. And so there's this flip back and forth between normal and not normal, like the mythical. That doesn't really seem to play in here, so I will dig through a little bit more of the other scape rules and see if that will give me any more clues as to where they're going with this engine for character advancement. That is a mythic aspect to it as well, so I'm not sure that it's going to really apply either. So until we have those kind of rules, I'm going to kind of take a fantasy approach toward what are you learning to do. So if you think about, as you're leveling up your fantasy character in another game system, you're looking to add new abilities. Maybe you stop using some stuff that was lower level stuff, so to speak. So that's my question to you, is what do you see as that kind of evolution? Is there a theme that you're developing that you felt like you're flexing or trying to flex? You can give one experience to that theme, or you can do the opposite to one of those themes where you're kind of fading that theme out. And what do they call it in this? They call it decay, where you decay that theme, right? Like you're going to replace it either with something better in some way, but it's not going to be like this, right? So maybe, for example, just because I have Derlin open, maybe you'll take Apothecary and start to decay that, because you're going to be less about that and more about some more flashy old ways magic. You see your character developing that direction. So you may fade instead that. So I'm going to ask each of you for that. Is there a theme that you want to flex or that you want to decay, one or the other? And then we'll go around the table and then we'll come back and do help or hurt. All right. So let's start with Derlin.
Yeah, so he's definitely developed. Yeah, I guess the way to describe it is he's dusting off his old rusty magic skills that he used to practice when he was much younger, but that was a long time ago. And so he's still having to fiddle around with them and stuff as we saw in this session with the see the unseen.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of forgotten how to do that stuff, but he is getting away from some of his old hermit apothecary ways in order to kind of refresh his memory on the magic that he used to use. So I'm gonna decay apothecary.
Okay. All right, very good. Then let's ask Jared. How is Jared flexing or kind of giving up on any aspect of his character?
I think I'm going to decay Stan Watch. It hasn't really come into play at all thus far. And I mean, I just said I was gonna watch when I was just gonna, while the guys were doing their stuff, but it didn't really factor into anything. So I think there's something probably better out there that I can do. I'm just gonna decay that one.
One of your entire themes, though.
Yeah, so the whole thing, either athletics, protector of the Dale, aspiring local hero, or martial training. If you're going to decay.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I got it. Okay.
It's not like you're going to give up a tag, but the whole theme, you can decay the theme, or you can give an experience to a theme, whichever you feel like you want to flex.
All right, yeah, I misunderstood that. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to take a flip on that, and I'm going to go with my martial training and my swordsmanship.
Okay, so you just add an experience to martial training, and that will get you one pip closer to being able to add another tag or that sort of thing, right? Okay.
Correct.
All right, Apple Picker. What's Jemmy going to flex or fade?
Oh, I thought we could only decay things.
No, you can choose to flex. If you want to give yourself an experience in one of your themes you felt like really played a big part, you feel like you should have a little extra boost, you can do that with one of your themes. Otherwise, if you feel like there was one theme of yours that you're really starting to feel like Jemmy's moving away from, then we can begin to decay that theme. Up to you.
If you want, Derlin can kind of here, at this moment, start teaching Jimmy some magic.
Well, the last time I decayed Rascal, thinking that I was kind of growing up and being more mature.
Yeah, so you could do that some more if you want, or you can be like, maybe I'm feeling like I could be an adventurer now, and I'm not going to be tied so much to Ravenholm, or, again, you kind of decide how you want to evolve your character. If you want to, like, Scrappy, I got a lot more. I actually was in a fight, so I'm going to boost Scrappy. You can do that too, whichever you like. Whatever suits you.
What I was thinking I wanted to be a fairy tale hero, like Jack and the Beanstalk.
Okay. So, yeah, so you could eventually, swap out a theme for that kind of theme. So you have to decide which theme's going to kind of go away. Which theme doesn't fit the fairy tale hero? The bushel of apples, or Rascal, or Ravenholm Raised? What do you think? Scrappy? Scrappy probably still fits.
Well, I decayed Rascal last time as a sign of me being more mature and more responsible, so I could just do that again.
Yep. Okay. So good. Decay that again. That sounds good. All right. So back around now to help or hurt. We'll go back to Derlin. Was this episode presenting you with any specific help or hurt opportunities?
So I guess refresh my memory a little bit. The help and the hurt.
Yeah.
Uh,
So last time you
Just-
became very impatient with Jemmy during parts of what he was,
Yeah.
you know, he was getting ahead.
Exploring
He
and
was going to
stuff,
be
yeah.
lost in the fog, and so you took a hurt on him, like you would scold him or try to keep him back, and that's how you would actually apply a hurt. It's really just a single power that you apply on one of their rolls. So hurt or help would be something you add to one of their rolls. I'm going to help. I'm going to use my help.
Okay, so during this session, I could have said, I'm going to hurt one of Jimmy's rolls and apply
Yes.
that negative to him.
And
Okay.
yell at him like, get off that well, get down from there, you're going to
Yeah,
get hurt,
yeah.
right? And that might give him -1 on that particular cool thing he was trying to do with the lasso and all that, right? So that's how you would use those in the future. So you can still keep that. It's just one pip you get to throw out there.
So, in this
It
session,
doesn't
he
require
actually...
black checks or anything.
It just adds 1 to your roll or -1 to your roll.
Oh no, but we already have a hurt and help. So this wouldn't add a black mark.
It could add another hurt or another help or to a different person. So for example, old man Derlin may be like, I think that our little red marshal was pretty heroic in going down the well, or that when he took on that beast. So I'm going to take a help with him because he was really trying to protect Jemmy or protect both of us. That kind of thing. Like I really felt like he jumped out there and, you know, put himself between us and you know, kept us out of harm's way as much as he could. So that right there would be worth a help, right? Where you owe him a favor maybe, and you'll think of a time that you might do that in the future. If that makes sense.
So, in this session, he was actually, despite the recklessness and you know the difficulties it caused and everything, he was impressed at the bravery of Jimmy for leaping in and cleverly figuring out a way to stop the monster from getting away. That shows promise and you know being
Okay.
a noble fighter of the corruption.
Cool.
So
All right. So you go ahead and add a tag that says help Jemmy, and then I'll leave you to sort out how to remember what that's for. I put the tags in there so you can remember to use them in the future. In the other system, which really uses the help and hurt a lot with City of Mist, when someone makes a roll, it also pops up, hey, would you like to help or hurt that roll? It like reminds the other players if they have a help or hurt. So it's really clever that way, but this one doesn't have that. But I'm not even sure there's a help or hurt system in this system, so I don't know. But I'm kind of just adapting stuff that I think is kind of cool from City of
There
Mist.
is a notes. There is a notes section next to the dice.
Yep.
So if you need to, put in a reminder or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be like your character sheet notes page. So you could absolutely use it for that, but that's kind of out of sight, out of mind. The reason why I have you add the status, like a tag, is so that it shows up on every roll that you make that someone else has help or hurt, I guess, or that you have help or hurt on them. It's backwards, but at least it's a little more visible. Okay, so Marshal Jared, help or hurt?
I'm gonna say help. I'm gonna go with Derlin. He actually took care of Jimmy's leg and got him standing back up after a bad spill.
You're not gonna do a hurt for him coming down the rope?
I think following the fact that Jimmy fell down the stairs and you fell down the stairs, if I was gonna start throwing hurts out, I mean, I fell down the stairs. The well when you crashed into me, yeah, we're all be hurting. But
Okay.
your help got the man standing back up again. He could be a real liability if his leg was broken.
Okay, so you're impressed with his old ways healing. Got it.
Yeah.
Jemmy, help or hurt?
Well, having my leg heal is great, but Jared jumped down a well for me. So yeah, that's really, really deep in my mind. So I'm gonna help Jared.
A rescue attempt was made. Didn't really work out, but The attempt was made.
Yeah.
You came
Well,
after me.
The intention was there.
He was closer
Right.
to the ground when the rope broke.
Right.
Hey, I could have pulled it off. I didn't expect an old man to be cannonballing down from the top.
I was
Get
trying
off
to
my
figure
rope!
out- I was trying to figure out how to make a rope out of my empty bags.
Okay. All right, so that's good. Helper hurt, you've got helper hurt taken care of. So, Jared, don't forget to write that in as a tagger somewhere so that you remember to use it later. And then for downtime, we'll cover that camp, setting camp, maybe at the very beginning of the next session, so that I can just present the rules to us all that we have so far about how to do that. Okay. Great. I think we're good. Thanks, everyone. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining for the game tonight. I'm glad that we got to play and that we'll get to play next week. I'm excited about that. As you try to take on Sorrowbomb's quest. And see what happens.
yeah. If you choose a new tag from your theme, you have to choose the next one in line on the character sheet. Or can you just
No.
pick any of them?
Yes.
Or can you make a new one of your own?
I would say no at this time, but because the way themes normally work in the other systems, including Otherscape, is their theme tags are created to answer a question. And so you could choose a different tag, but we'd have to really settle on what those questions are and how. I mean, it's not that important, but it's important enough to give you guidelines, the prompts on what your tags could be, right?
Okay.
So for now, you would choose one of the other tags that you have on your sheet, or you could maybe send me a note and say, hey, instead of this tag, what do you think if next time I improve this theme, I make up this tag? Are you cool with that? And, justify it with me, and I could come up with a yes or no based on what I think your justification is, and if I think it's in line with your character, as I see it as well, that it's not going to be weird, out of bounds kind of stuff, that it seems to go along
And
with
if you
it,
learn
etc.
stuff from like the other two characters, Jared or Derwin, you could
Mhm.
probably just borrow one of their themes to replace that. Like his martial training or something like
Sure.
that as part of your folk hero.
Yeah. Likewise, the old ways could be taught, and someone could pick up an old ways kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. So hopefully, at least by February, I hope sometime in January, they're going to release some of those character rules, and I'm sure you'll all will be on top of it as soon as it shows up. But just in case,
Yeah.
I'll put it in the Discord as well, and I'll load it into the BTT, so that we have more to go on. And maybe that will give us some better guidance on the direction they're headed with it, so we don't go too far away from where things maybe are supposed to be, so we don't have to make too much adjustments. But with character rules, you could begin to introduce the ideas for your own characters, and we could transition from the demo characters into your own characters as well. No problem doing that if that piques your interest. Or if you're perfectly happy with the demo character, you keep going there. And it will give us an idea of how you can improve above and beyond what's available on the demo character sheet, right? All right, guys. Thank you very much. You guys have a great
Thank
week.
you.
I will see you next week. Don't hesitate to drop questions or comments in the Discord for us to talk about or answer your questions, etc. Love to dig in. If you've got something pressing and I don't know the answer, I'd love to go learn it anyway, just because sometimes I don't always know or think about what to ask, right?
Great game, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I had so much fun.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. You guys have a great week. And to our studio audience, thanks for applauding every time the sign came on. We appreciate that. And you guys have a great week. Thanks now. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
All stay safe.